How's it going, everybody? And welcome back to another edition of the podcast / vlog. And in today's episode, we're going to talk a little bit about finding time for the gym. I know I've talked about this topic probably once before. I've had guests come on to talk about this topic. But in light of new events, being a father once again to baby number 2, I thought I'd dive into this this topic again and talk about finding time for the gym. So let's go ahead and get right into it. So making and or finding time for the gym can be somewhat of a hard task to do, especially when you have more than one child. I know that with our son, our firstborn, the gym took a real back seat in regards to going on a consistent basis. Before he was born, I was probably 6 to 7 days a week getting my workouts in on a consistent basis. After he was born, I tried to get back into it. I'm not gonna lie. Finding that rhythm with a newborn as a new father was not easy for me, and the gym just came to a sudden and almost abrupt end after about a week or maybe 2 weeks of trying. And that's not to say because well, it is and it isn't because of having a child. It is because they require your time. They require a lot of your attention when they're first born. So because of that, my wife, she was already checked out in regards to, at the end of the day, she was done. She was tired. She needed a break. By the time I came home from work, it was my turn to sort of step up and relieve her so that she can get some sleep. Because again, like with her being on maternity leave, she was with him morning until evening, and my gym schedule at that time was after work. I think I was getting off work at maybe around 3 o'clock. I was living in Southern California at the time, and I would drive to the gym, which was probably like maybe a 10-minute drive from where I worked. I would try to get in an hour workout. Sometimes it would be a little bit longer if I wanted to get some cardio in. And then I would have to take the drive home. And living in Southern California in the city, your drive can really vary from 25, 30 minutes. It could even take you an hour if something like crazy happens on the freeway. But on average, it was about a 25 to 30 minute drive home from there. So 3 o'clock, we're talking 3:10 getting into the gym. 4:10, maybe 4:20 rolling out of the gym. Now we're talking 5, maybe 5:30. Finally getting home from the gym and settling in and getting some food in my stomach. That's a long time for my wife to have been home with our son from morning until 5:30, and then to get a break. And my work schedule, it was early in the mornings, so I'm already having to think about crashing out at 9:30ish. I need to start winding down so that I can wake up early for the next day and start it all over again. Not really something that was working for us at the time. So finding that rhythm with him, it took a while, and it wasn't until this year, I want to say, that I finally got back into it. I got back into the swing of things. And one of the things that we had discussed, because we knew that we wanted a second child or a second baby, was that we didn't want sort of the rhythm that we had found to alter too much. And though it has a little bit. I am currently on paternal leave, and so I'm home. I'm able to help out. I'm currently driving to the gym to get my workout in, because right now at this time of the day, under these specific conditions, it works. But how then do you sort of make it a consistent thing? If you have goals for yourself to be in the gym, say 4 to 5 times out of the week, and you want to get in at least an hour workout of lifting weights or doing cardio or whatever it may be, how can you fit that in? And the answer is any which way you can. That with our little one, it might be early in the AM is the only time. If you divvy up your day and a huge chunk of that time is spent at work, and then that other huge chunk of time is spent sleeping, then you have to compartmentalize all of the other sort of free slots that you have. And an hour is asking a lot. If you try to make it to where you're either hitting the gym before you go into work or you're hitting the gym after work, or if your job allots for a 1 hour lunch, maybe you get your cardio in on your first and your last break by taking a walk or taking a jog, and then during that hour lunch, maybe you pop into the gym really fast. I mean, there are options. You might only get a 40-minute workout, but still, it's 40 minutes in the middle of the day. Unless you're living in the city, it might be a prime time to be hitting the gym, to get in there, get a workout in, and then get back to work. Most of these gyms, they have showers. You can shower, freshen up, change. And that's the way that it's got to be for a little bit. If you have a job where your schedule is constantly varying, maybe there's a little bit more leeway. Maybe you're able to hit the gym at different times of the day, because living in a smaller city or not living in the big city, there might not be a 24-hour gym at your disposal, so you then have to kind of tweak it to make it work. But the other option, and I'm going to do a podcast episode / maybe a mini tour of this later, is a home gym. If you have a home and you have a garage, there seems to be, I'm not sure if it's a wake or if it's almost considered a wave now of people who are putting in really legitimate looking home or / garage gyms in their own garages. And it's probably because of the accessibility of some of this gym equipment. I want to say that was brought on by things like CrossFit. CrossFit was a really big thing that brought in squatting, it brought in doing, pull-ups and all these other type of Olympic style movements. And with the mass production of these squat racks for these boxes or these places that do CrossFit, it's relatively inexpensive for the public or for the average consumer to dive into this world. And I say this because squat racks are not that expensive now. I'm not sure how much they were back in the day, but at least right now, a squat rack is something that is a reasonable purchase. And if you were to take, say, a 2-year, month-to-month initiation fees, exit fees at your current gym or your commercial gym, and you were to add that up over 2 years, you'd have a pretty good chunk of change right there that you could just invest into a squat rack, an adjustable or a flat bench, which are not expensive. You could buy a really good quality one at Big 5. I think that's where I got mine. It was like $30, but it is only a flat bench. I wish I had sprung for the bench that would incline, because I prefer doing incline bench. I'm not too concerned about powerlifting and focusing on just flat bench press. I like to have variation. Excuse me, but a squat rack in itself, you can get one relatively inexpensive. However, there is a YouTuber that I follow who was building his own home gym at the time, and what he said really rings true, and it's buy nice or buy twice. You should really invest on a quality piece of gym equipment if working out is something that you do. Being someone who hit the gym 6 to 7 times a week, I didn't have the option because I was renting an apartment while living in Southern California, but it would have been a perfect investment for me to buy a squat rack, to buy really good weights. And when it comes to weights, I purchased my 45-pound plates used. You can get them almost $1 per pound, maybe slightly under if they're rusted or whatever, and you can clean them up. There's a lot of really great stuff on Garage Gym Reviews on Instagram. They show a lot of images of people who refurbish or recondition used gym equipment and make it work for themselves. Horse stall mats, you can dress your garage with that. I think they run about $40, $45 per mat. Deadlifting platforms, you can go to your local lumber store, Home Depot, Lowe's, wherever you buy lumber, and you can build your own deadlifting platform for under $100. I mean, all of these things are relatively inexpensive. The most expensive thing you'll probably spend on is maybe the squat rack if you want to purchase something from maybe Rogue, but even then you have companies like Titan Fitness that offer a similar product, similar quality. Some of the reviews I've seen are mixed, but at a fraction of the cost. So you could step into a squat rack for maybe 2/3 the price of what a Rogue squat rack would cost you. And other than that, it's just looking at it like it's about $1 per pound for weight, which is, if you're a powerlifter, it's going to be a very expensive road for you, because if you want to be pulling 500 or 600 pounds off the floor, I mean, you're looking at investing $500 or $600 in weights just to deadlift. But there again, finding the time, making the time, putting the gym as a priority for you, I think it's something that's really important. But more along the lines of finding the time, it's really whenever and however you can get it in. I mentioned some of the things that you can do, whether it's investing in a garage gym, whether it's if you have a 1 hour lunch at work and you take that time to pop into the gym really fast. You might think to yourself, oh, well, that's the time I'm going to eat my lunch. When can I eat my lunch? And well, you can snack at your desk. If you practice things like intermittent fasting, you could always just consume the calories for your day later. There are ways around it. And for those who want to achieve those goals and want to achieve those things, you'll do it. You'll make the time. So that's just me checking in. That's just me giving a little bit of a topic for today's fitness podcast. Again, I want to thank you guys for listening to this. If you're catching me I am on SoundCloud now. So if you're catching me on SoundCloud, what's up? If you're listening to me on iTunes, Stitcher, or Google Play, I mean, thank you guys. Be sure to leave a comment. If you're catching this on YouTube, leave a thumbs up or a comment in the comment section down below. You guys can find me on my Instagram. It is @Ramon_Campamore. Slide in the DM, send me any topic suggestions, or again, any questions that you guys might have. And until next time, I'll see you guys.